My roommate is a vampire. Chapter 3. Blood from a Stone.
You got any jacks?
We sat opposite of each other, our eyes shifty and narrowed as we looked at the cards we had been dealt. This was it, the moment of truth, when all would be revealed. Life or death, this would change everything. I smiled coyly as I glanced down at my cards, and then back at her. Go fish. She jumped up from her cushion and flipped the table in a fit of rage, sending our cards and drinks flying.
Lionel, why would you do that?
I screeched.
What a mess!
She snorted.
Because it's hilarious.
You won't be laughing when it's your turn to clean the bathroom, I snapped. She wilted.
Ah.
Knock knock. Who's there?
Huh, I wonder who that could be.
Vinyl trotted over to the door, pulling it open with her magic, and was promptly tackled and sent flying clear across the room with a great crash.
Vinyl!
I shrieked, by her side in an instant.
Vinyl! Speak to me!
My attentions were drawn away from Vinyl and the gray Pegasus on the carpet to the loud chatter by the door. There was a sharp gasp as Vinyl sat back up, resuscitated.
Derpy hooves!
The gray, wall-eyed Pegasus with a blonde mane squealed as they hugged each other tight.
Octi, I'd like you to meet my friends from Ponyville, Lyra Heartstrings.
Mint green, with a mane that looked and smelled of spearmint, eyes of gold,
and her mare friend. Vinyl,
Lyra flushed.
Bonbon,
Vinyl teased. A mane like cotton candy, a voice sweet and sugary.
Carrot Top.
Hello. A disastrous mane, the size of a disco ball, and somehow even worse than Vinyl's.
And finally, Derpy Hooves.
The Pegasus waved, sticking out her tongue in jest. No comment. I chuckled nervously. And what do I owe the pleasure of having you four wonderful mares today?
You don't mind, do you, Octi?
Of course not. Well, come right in. You're already inside. So, make yourselves comfortable. Lyra grinned.
Ooh, Vinyl, she has an accent.
You talk funny, Derpy noted. Derpy, don't be rude, Carrot Top chided. So, are we gonna play or what? Bonbon butted in. Play? Play what? I asked. Apparently, they all loved to gamble. With real bits? I sighed. Isn't that irresponsible?
And now you know where my paycheck goes,
Vinyl joked. I tossed a few bits into the pot, trying to keep a straight face as I took another peek at my cards, biting my lip. Jackpot, sweet Celestia, if I won. Show 'em.
Ace high.
Pair of queens. 3 kings. I laid my cards down with a satisfied smile, trying to hide my grin, as Lyra and Bonbon swore.
Royal flush.
Derpy cheered. Our jaws dropped.
What?
Yay, more muffins for me. And for the second time that day, the table was flipped. Day turned to night, the sun dipping into the horizon. Luna's moon, a full moon, high in the sky, a sea of twinkling stars blanketing the world as ponies all over Equestria took to their beds, drifting off into peaceful slumber. When darkness fell, Canterlot became something else. I had left my door ajar, so as to mask the squeak of the doorknob, of the creaking of the hinges as I slipped into the hallway, holding my breath. Careful now, Octavia. Watch that loose flowbud. My eyes flicked back and forth shiftily. I craned my head, sliding up against the wall adjacent to Vinyl's bedroom door. My ears twitched as I listened. That feeling in my chest, what was it? The fluttering of my heart as I heard the unicorn toss and turn? Right, I needed oxygen. I gasped, sucking in air, and slowly pressed on the door with my hoof, using my other hoof to manipulate the knob. With a squeak and a graceful trip, I tumbled in, surprised, rolling over, head over hooves, into Vinyl's domain with a painful thump. Moonlight poured into the room, casting eerie shadows all over the place. I stood up slowly, eyeing the sleeping mare on the bed, taking a step forward. As my hoof connected with the carpet, It was met with a hair-raising sound of a potato chip being crushed under her hoof. I smiled back, disgusted, before pressing on, cringing. I was finally at the foot of her bed. I crawled, pinking up, above her mattress. She slept on her back, her head facing away from me. Vinyl continued to snore loudly. She turned her head, and I saw she didn't wear her purple shades in her sleep. It was time to find out what she really looked like. Ugh, this isn't creepy at all. I lifted myself onto the bed, the mattress shifting with a new weight. This isn't creepy at all. She snorted and smacked her lips. I swallowed, my hooves above her face as I grasped her lenses, lifting them off the bridge of her nose to find that she also wore a sleep mask. I resisted the urge to groan. Vinyl turned again, this time facing me. She snored, breathing through her muzzle. At least she brushed her teeth. Her hooves wandered, searching around until they found me. I squeaked, freezing. She pulled me into an embrace, murmuring to herself. Octi, she cooed, deliriously, still sleeping. Is she dreaming about me? Should I be flattered or worried? I rasped and struggled for air as her hooves tightened their vice around my neck. Can't breathe. She nuzzled me, combing her hoof through my hair. I blushed furiously, my face heating up. I squirmed as she continued to press against me, holding me close. Too close, way too close. Personal space officially violated, and in so many ways I couldn't even begin to describe. Oh, sweet Celestia, please let me go. It feels nice. No, it doesn't feel nice, Octavia. You're being smothered to death by your roommate. But she's so warm. No, she's not. She's not adorable when she's sleeping, and her coat doesn't feel like silk rubbing against yours, and you don't feel woozy when she pulls you close. Liar. You feel it, don't you? Opposites attract. The butterflies in your belly when she brushes up against you in the street. Your heart racing. I can't stand her. She's a slob. A mess. She is rude and rowdy, and I was so very attracted to her. There are things in life you cannot choose, like how you feel. I couldn't possibly have affections for her. It was unheard of. I couldn't possibly be in love. Call it denial. I wanted to get her to stop drilling on me. I wanted to remove all doubts from the equation, make my problems disappear, not have to worry about the ramifications, the social stigma, the impact it would have on my musical career. I could see it now on the front page of Equestria Daily. The word was out. Octavia was a filly fooler. What would my mother think? Life knows two mysteries. Getting what you don't want and not getting what you want. The trouble with wanting something is the fear of losing it, or never getting it. Finally, she loosened her grasp on me, and I slipped away, undetected, slipping beneath my covers and shivering. A beautiful melody, the sound of harmony. We are a well-oiled machine, in sync. I cringed as I snapped into reality, my bowl pulling across the strings of my bass, creating a horrifying sound that sounded like an angry feline with kidney stones. What? My three companions glared at me. You've been kinda distant lately, Octavia. Sorry, Pony. I vote that we end rehearsal today, Friedrich suggested, idly tapping a key. I slumped and packed up my things and left. I had been distracted. Things about what I had tried and failed to do last night. So far, I wasn't any closer to finding out whether Vinyl was or wasn't a vampire. At that point, my mind was focused on other things. My feelings for her. That cursed mare. It was all her fault. It had taken a while for me to come to terms with it all. I'd brushed off the signs as nothing more than Vinyl being overly friendly. But I knew, oh yes, I knew that she wanted me. Wanted me to want her. I was in love. Was I really? I couldn't even grasp the concept. I had never loved before. Never kissed a pony. Never had a relationship. Intimate and open. But I knew this was love. When some pony, no matter what the cost, shows you there was a choice. You can't pursue this relationship, you stubborn mare. It's career suicide. Social suicide. You going to risk everything for her? I silenced that voice in the back of my head indefinitely. Maybe I was overthinking things. She liked me, and I liked her. Wasn't that enough? If only things were that simple. Of course, fate would not leave me be, and as I tore open the fridge, grabbed some sparkling water, thinking I had all the answers to the mysteries of life, I spied something hidden behind some orange juice and some leftovers. I reached in deep, feeling around with my hoof until I grabbed onto something cold and lumpy. I pulled the object out and screamed at the top of my lungs. A blood pack. Oh, no, 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 no. I shut my eyes and tried to will it all away, pretending I was seeing things. I wasn't. There it was, laying on the kitchen floor, cold, crimson blood inside the offending plastic package with a clear label stamped upon it stating the blood type. I swallowed. What do I say to her? What do I do? What kind of pony would bring home blood bags? I certainly don't bring them home. And that meant that she had. I felt woozy. I felt sick. Vinyl Scratch was a vampire. Unless she had to give herself her own blood transfusions. What about that, Octavia? That voice in my head, the voice of reason, had stopped making sense. Even Nick could not dissuade me from the truth. Logic told me that there was a reasonable explanation. Logic was such a liar. This was undeniable proof. Now what? No pony would believe me. What could I do? Call the guards? Try and slay her myself? Leave, disappear, make myself scarce. That would have been the smart thing to do. I guess I wasn't that smart. I wanted to ask, confirm my suspicions, see if I were true. And again, probably end up lying in a pool of my own blood for asking. It was time to invest in some silver, garlic, and a wooden stake. Maybe some holy water. I imagined myself screaming, "The power of Celestia compels you! The power of Celestia compels you!" as I splashed it on her. I heard the door open. I gasped and grabbed the bag with my teeth, trying not to think about it, and tossed it back into the fridge. "Octy, I'm home!" I slammed it shut and turned around, grinning nervously. My grin stretched wide. If she had found out what I had found, then they would find my body in a ditch or dumpster. I was too young and beautiful to die. Play it cool, Octavia. Be cool. Just pretend that you didn't see anything. She's still your friend. She's still Vinyl Scratch. How am I supposed to be cool when my best friend is a blood-sucking monster? Hey, Octy, you got some mail. Mail? Yeah, mail. For me? Yeah, Octy. Could you move? I want a drink. Blood. She's going to drink the blood. I've never gotten mail before. I sidestepped her awkwardly, never taking my eyes off her. Are you alright? You look nervous. Me? Nervous? Of course not. Let's just see who this mail is from. I read the return address and recognized the stamp immediately. Mother?